Welcome everybody to coverage of the 2022 Pittsburgh Flying Disc Ice Bowl. This coverage today is sponsored by Camber Disc Golf Company. My name is Andrew Greenslade. I am Camber's team captain, and I am here with tournament director Mark Prestopnik. How are you, Mark?
Hey, Andrew. I'm doing good. Glad to be here with you. This tournament was at Schenley Park Disc Golf Course in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a one-round flex tournament that raised nearly $7,000 for the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. We had 230 participants come out and play.
This switch to the Flex Start format has really made the Ice Bowl a great part of our winter schedule here in Pittsburgh, allowing so many players to participate over the last couple of years.
Yeah, we're really happy to be able to open it up for a lot of people to come out and play at a time and date that's convenient to them. And really kind of the whole community's gotten behind this event. So we think we'll keep doing it like this for the years to come.
That's great. I mean, 200 plus players a year. What more could you ask for? So let's get into the coverage with our Team Camber card that we're going to be following today. So starting off on hole one, leading off our card, we will have Hannah Campbell. She'll be throwing a forehand on this 296 foot. That might be a little deep, but according to the sign, 296 foot par three. It's pretty much right out there in front of you, probably more like 260, 270. Your pick, forehand, backhand. We're going to see Baleigh Hopkins, our second on the card, attack with the backhand. And she's going for that flex play, but it's pretty windy out there today. So we kind of had a tail crosswind at this point. So that little flex got pushed out to the right. Up next, we have Cody Winget. He'll be going right at this one. But again, you can see that wind kind of just pushing it out to the right a little bit.
Yeah, I think on my card, everyone went over to the right too, just like that. Imagine a lot of people.
Up fourth, I have myself, and I tried to make the correction here. I'm throwing a discraft zone, so I put it out to the right, but let the zone stability bring it back and
great
drop
shot
it right by the pin. Thank you. And finally, we have Mark Federenko finishing up the card for us.
I think Mark's looking to do a little better performance than his last time he was recorded for the Ice Bowl.
Yeah, I know he had a little bit of vengeance for Schenley in mind. So here's Baleigh. She'll be our first putt, probably out around circle two, and just a good layup. Don't want to take any hiccups right on the first hole. Hannah looking at an edge of circle putt for her birdie.
Oh,
just short, front cage. It took a minute to get used to the wind out there with some of these putts. Mark also looking about a 30-footer.
A minute? I don't think I ever got used to the wind out there.
Me either, but I was saving that for the other 17 holes.
Great putt there, by the way, for Mark.
Cody from about 20.
Oh, right side.
And I know he had some choice words for the famous Schenley Mach 3s.
You can't blame that on the basket. That's a straight up miss from Cody.
I'm going to clean up my two. I didn't want to have to putt, so put it close. And the ladies clean up their threes. So a couple birdies, a few pars. I'll be taking the box here. Now we're throwing hole two. Mark?
Yeah, hole two, usually you're facing a little bit of a headwind. So let's see what you did here, Andrew.
So I was experimenting. One of my favorite parts of this tournament is working some new discs in the bag every winter. That was a Star Katana I haven't thrown in a while, and it did not like the headwind. So a little bit of a thrower.
Here's Mark teeing off. Looks like he's putting one out there. It's a bomb. That'll play. Really on this hole for most people, it's putting yourself in a position to get a good approach on your next shot. This first shot is not going to get you the birdie. It's really the next shot, but you don't want to do too much damage. So here's Hannah throwing the forehand out there. She's in position. Baleigh is stepping up to the tee. Another one right out there in the middle. Solid start to the hole. And then I think that's Cody hiding behind the tree there. Yep, there he is, booming it like he does. And that's out there. Oh, nice. Great shot, getting some ground play at the end too.
Yeah, the bottom of the hill was one of the few spots where it was still pretty icy on the course.
So Baleigh with her second shot. Looks like, yeah, that's looks like it might be circle's edge. And now Hannah stepping up with a forehand. It's out there. Shot.
I'm looking to throw my zone again here.
Did you like that shot?
I didn't. I kind of played it high, looking for a little more of a spike hyzer, used the height to control the skip, and I got a bigger bounce than I thought it would at the end. So I ended up with about a 30-footer coming back.
Looks like Cody put it right in there. All right, Federenko stepping up to the throw here, getting his footing set.
And that was a trick I noticed a lot of people who had good long drives landing in that ice. Getting their footing for their second shot actually became tricky.
Oof.
Nice shot from him. Yeah, that's his bird. We'll see that a lot today.
Sometimes these vehicles coming around the corner is really a mental challenge on this shot, this putt here. Hannah just missing her putt. Oof, an unfortunate roll away. Okay, Baleigh stepping up for her putt. What would you say this is about 35? It's hard for me to tell.
30, yeah, 30. Just inside the circle.
And not quite. Federenko. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is you, man.
This is me, yeah. Means Mark was closer. Yeah, at about a 30-footer. The tree was not in the way, but in my mind. And I just left side chained it out.
Hannah trying to clean up after that unfortunate roll away. Oh, did that hit the pole?
I think it hit the nub and then the front cage.
Oh, that's a tough break. Cody, he's not going to make a right side mistake that time. He likes the three there. You know, this hole, probably to no one's surprise, the second hole actually played the hardest during the ice bowl with an average score of 4.21 amongst the field. So getting a 3 there is just a tremendous score.
Now we're jumping over to hole 3. It's a 204-foot par 4. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we were fighting the conditions out there with the equipment as well. So we're joining on the green. This is me putting for 3 from over the hill because I'd already come up short on my hyzer. And then my second putt, I airballed and went down and almost OB. But I cashed in for 3.
Great save.
Thank you. Hannah here from 15.
Nice pot.
Knocks it in for... Mark and Cody cleaning up. A bunch of 3s on this hole. It's a pretty stock hyzer. Our card didn't play anything too close, but no big damage.
All right, here we are over on hole 4. This was the played the easiest during the Ice Bowl. The average of 2.75. So more birdies than you'd think. Yeah, he probably doesn't like that shot. He hyzered it out a little bit too much. Now Cody steps up. Oh, he's right on it. Oh, I don't know. That might have flared out of there a little bit. What'd you do here?
I went back to my zone again, and again trying to kind of throw the high hyzer, let the speed come off, but I took a nice big skip when I hit the ground. Yeah, and I'm going to be edge of circle over by the trees.
All right, here's Bailey stepping up. That's looking good.
That's beautiful. Good shot.
I think she likes it. And now Hannah. Seems like she's throwing a lot of forehands. Oh,
Come on. One time.
Very close.
Yeah, great run. A few more obstacles when you take the forehand route, but when you throw it that clean, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, you really did get down here.
Yeah, I had 2 holes, that and my approach on 2, where I really thought that using the height would help control the skip, and I was clearly wrong and ended up with a long putt. So
Yeah,
right over the top, but good release, but yeah, it's not quite on mine.
That's a tough putt from down there. Federenko. Oh, what a putt. Excellent putt. You could tell he's off to a hot start. Cody, no problem. He's looking comfortable. I think that putt on 2 really settled him down, it seems. Oh, Hannah looking to get her bird. Ooh, great putt. Whoops. Now Bailey. Yep, no problem. What a nice hole from most of the people there, I guess.
Most of the people.
But this guy.
Bailey reminded me on the next hole that I was the one to ruin the start frame, so I'll take my lumps there.
Yeah.
So hole 5 is one of the trickier holes on the course, in my opinion. Fast green, especially with the ice on it today. You're trying to hit a tunnel. Mark's trying to roller play to get down there.
Haven't been that far, right, yet?
But you really have to throw a fairway driver, something that you can get to go very straight and then have a little bit of fade. Cody hits the line beautifully, but that little bit of flare at the end might make it tough. That green was just nothing but ice.
Yeah, it really was brutal out there on this hole, especially.
Bailey with a great line there.
No.
And to your point, Andrew, this hole actually played the second most difficult during the tournament. So
Now stop rolling.
It's not surprising. Once you got down towards the green, getting anything to stay near the basket was a trick.
yeah, 3.77 average score on this hole for our competitors.
I'm throwing a star sidewinder here. It's new to my bag, and I thought it would turn a little bit more, but instead I found the left side trees, and I'm going to be in a really weird spot here. Just no way to get a hyzer around the corner, so I'm going to try and flip a little thumber through this gap and over the bush.
Yeah, that's a tough shot from there. These trees are really getting bigger too, last couple of years.
And I had to kind of navigate through them. I'm in perfectly in the back of that bush, so I'm gonna have absolutely no look at the basket. Hannah coming in, and you can see what that ice does.
Oh, maybe it's gonna come roll back to the basket. Wow.
And it's gonna keep going and finally settle down, but
I told you not to baby it.
probably a great reaction considering where the flare took her.
Yeah.
Baleigh throwing a little hyzer.
A nice shot from there.
I think she got the stick. There was a little bit of grass. Now, Mark's roller went way over across 18.
Wow.
He's throwing a little flex forehand over the hill, plays the ice slide, and he put that to maybe 3 feet.
That was nice.
That was Cody's little forehand around the bush. Now I am in the bush. I have one little gap. I'm trying to putt up above the basket with a little stomach putt there. And I got it to slide right to the grass about 10 feet away. This is Baleigh looking to clean up a 3.
Oh,
A little right. But luckily it sat. We were watching discs do all sorts of funny stuff on that ice, so. Hannah, after her adventurous roll.
that's a good putt.
Right in the heart. Mark, after that phenomenal scramble up shot, makes it easy. And Cody and I just have a couple tap-ins to clean up the hole.
Now, will Cody throw a laser beam in there from 7 feet out?
It's always a possibility with him, but no.
Not
A
that.
little bit of touch from that distance. And finally,
All right, so here we are, hole 6. Another par 3, 241 feet to green center. And here we have Mark Federenko coming off of his great scramble save for a par. Looks like he might hit someone on 18th tee, but just over their head, so no one's injured.
we were yelling
That's dedication.
4, and the guy just held his pose and he yelled back. He's like, "I got it," because his shot was so good he didn't want to take his eyes off his.
Wow. All right, now stepping up is Cody Winget. And looks like he clipped a tree and just way out there to the left. That'll be just kind of a little backdoor flip to the basket, so he should have no trouble with that. Hannah with her patented forehand shot, clipping one of the trees that protects the 7th tee. Baleigh stepping up.
This is a tough tee shot because you're, especially to take the straighter line, you really have to get something that's going to flip the flat or get a little flex on it, but you're throwing uphill, and that makes it a little harder to control that flip up. I am throwing a leopard 3. And
Yeah.
I really liked that until
Oh, yeah, I'm with you on this. You got to be careful not to try to do too much and then kind of mess up your shot. It's a control shot. Here's Hannah with her up. It's a little more right than you'd want to be.
I think she's still pretty close.
Yeah, now Baleigh stepping up to her shot after a great drive, and that's a terrific up shot. You tap in. Now you kind of dealing with your kick over there.
Yeah, there's just a couple limbs, so I was trying to, I think I turned to Cody and said, how high do I have to put this to swing back to the basket? Mark from over by 18.
Looks like Mark doesn't want to play any of the intended fairways today, but he's still scoring well. Oh, Cody, yeah, like I thought, Cody had a nice backdoor look over there. Now, Hannah looking to save her par from about 19 feet. Just short.
Just that front cage again.
Oh, he did not like that.
No, he laughed it off pretty good.
A We'll save the bogey, I guess. It's tough out there.
It was. It's the video's not picking up on. There was a pretty good breeze going the whole time, and it does just enough to mess with your putting, especially on, again, with these Mach 3s. You don't want to blame the basket, but you really do need to be hitting them in the center to get your disc to stick, and that little bit of breeze can make you just a little off, left, right, high, low, and that can be the difference.
Yep, and then Baleigh cleaning up her 3. Yeah, and I mean, it's hard enough to putt, and it's windy in the middle of summer when you're playing regularly, but in the winter when you might have bad footing, you're not playing as frequently, it makes it just so challenging.
It does. So we're on the hole 7, which is another par 3. That's going to be the theme of the course. 165 feet. It's a little, as you saw here, forehand line, just up over the hill. You can also take the backhand turnover at it. Bailey pulled just a little bit and gets the worst kick into those woods. I'm going to try and, going back, I threw this zone, I think, on almost every hole for the front 9, but I'm going to try this little forehand here. And I just rolled my wrist on it. That disc is starting to get well used, so I'm off to a slower start than I would like to be. Cody's going to show you the backhand turnover line. Give it a little height. I think he played it right into the trees on the backside of the green. Now, this hole was built for Hannah's forehand. A great line. I think she took a little bit of a skip there at the end too, into the woods. This is Bailey trying to find her way out. And if you've been over there, you know there's not a whole lot of good options out of those woods. She's just getting herself back to the edge of the fairway. I'm lining up thanks to that little flex, probably about a 45 footer here, maybe right around 45 feet.
Nice.
Let's go. Nice putt.
I needed that one. I felt like I was off to kind of a slow start. I needed to get some kind of momentum rolling there, and that putt definitely was what I was looking for.
Yeah, great putt.
Bailey with a little bit of a cleaner look this time. Gives it a great bid.
Good run.
Almost scrambles out the 3. Cody looking for his 2. And just a little bit right, and that green drops away really fast, so his putter floated on. Now he's got a long comebacker here for the 3. I don't know if he had to contend with any trees in his line.
Yikes.
Yeah, that edge of the cage, and then it rolls. This is starting to be a worst case scenario in terms of how these, going over that hill, then getting the, the perfect bad roll coming back. So, and we've all been there where you're the one walking back and forth trying to knock down that putt.
Yeah, you never want to hear it's still you.
No. So good number hit there. He stayed close. Hannah's looking to clean up.
Nice.
And she knocks down the 2. Yeah, it's a great birdie. Bailey, to stop the bleeding. And that's a solid putt.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, you get over in those woods, a whole lot can happen.
Now Cody seems like he's a little checked out here at this point. It's hard to keep your composure when everything starts going that way, though. We've all been there.
Yeah, it's a tough, mental challenge to keep that together.
So Mark was just there dropping in for his 2, right?
Yep. So he gets to lead us off on hole 8.
All right, this is in the C pin, which is over to the right. It's a lot of people playing it as a forehand or just kind of a left to right turnover backhand shot. Looks like you took the forehand shot and
Little flex forehand with that zone for the 20th time.
That little bit of ground play at the end can make a world of difference on this shot if you get it or you don't. Or you can keep it high up in the air like that and just get all the way to the basket like Hannah appears to have done. I think she likes it. There's a smile on her face.
Yeah, she's got a nice little skip on the road.
Bailey is going on the backhand line. Go sneaky local route. Looks like people are waving down by the next tee that everything's okay. Cody looking
out.
Not sure what Cody did there, but I think he threw
this is one of our another hole where we had some technical difficulties. The camera did not like the cold, and there were a few instances where they had to swap out cameras and do a few things to make the coverage happen.
So Mark
almost through and you find the cage.
Yeah. I guess Hannah was a little right on that, a little short and right. But she'll have
I think she caught a skip on the road. You can see the snow and the wind are starting to kick up at this point in the round.
Excellent putt.
It is amazing what a game of momentum this can be.
Absolutely. Cody, oh no. Don't do it. Don't do it. He's got to be thinking the world's against him right now. Or at least those Schenley baskets. And there you go. Yeah. It gives it right back.
Cody. And a credit to Cody as the rest of the card cleans up, but he kept his spirits up. A lot of times when this is happening, it can be really easy for someone to become an anchor on the card, and he was anything but that. Moving on the whole, we're moving on the whole 9 here. It's a 204-foot par 3. We're going up the hill. You're catching us on some of our up shots, so again, just some technical difficulties off the tee. None of us put it particularly close, so you're going to get to see some of the scramble elements of hole 9. Mark's here about 60, 70 feet away with a little jump putt up. I believe Hannah had thrown a forehand, just caught some trees, so she's got this long look. And a great run. Bailey looking to knock down her putt. And just a touch high and left. Cody looking to bounce back. And just the front of the cage. Now Bailey's going to clean up while I'm still walking back. We found my disc all the way back almost OB across the 10. So they're cleaning up while I walk back to my disc. Not a sanctioned tournament, so we were a little loose with some of the etiquette and the order of play. But I'd thrown a thumber up there that normally the line it takes, I thought I was going to be within 15 feet. But I guess one of the things that we were dealing with today was the hard ground. You saw the skips earlier, and I think my thumber just took a big jump when it hit and went all the way back to the road. So I had a long look coming back, and I'm getting that. Yeah, that edge, we saw it with Cody's too, that catch the edge of the cage and then get that roll. So you never want to have the 25, 30 foot come back for par.
That's a good recovery. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult too if you think you're looking at a birdie and then you have to really quickly change your mindset, and then you're all of a sudden you're wondering what happened.
Yeah.
So here we are on hole 10.
That adjustment.
Yeah, here we are on hole 10. Off of your great save. Looks like a little short and right.
Yeah, the P Model S. New disc to my bag this year I've been messing with, but it actually caught the road and I'm going to be a little deep and right.
And again, this one is
Come on, all the
in
way.
the
Let's
B
go.
pin,
Settle.
which is kind of straight ahead over the road. It's about 173, maybe slightly more in this location. And Baleigh again, another one
Yeah,
down
there
there.
you
Looks like it
go.
might be in the circle's edge. Cody getting a kick. He's got some work to do here to get down to the basket. Just not going his way right now.
No, Cody had about a 5-hole stretch where he was really fighting to stay in the round.
Yeah. And he's just gonna lay up, but still maybe even getting a little
That
more kick than he
frozen
felt.
ground,
Yeah.
that frozen ground was making all sorts of interesting things happen when you just hit it.
I think we all fell victim to that at least once, at least. At least everyone in my group did. And a replay of Cody, and then right side again.
This is my putt for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the best effort. I could definitely blame the card of Nate Langer and Vinny Montanari and Matt Rozier, who were standing behind the basket, but
Oh no.
yeah, how quickly I made that a birdogey.
Mm.
So here's Hannah off of her drive. We thought she might ace this from on that forehand line.
Oh, great putt. Nice too.
Yeah, great 2. And then from the forehand to Bailey's flex backhand,
This is her drive too, right?
it is.
That is a great shot. Wow.
And they both knocked down their putts.
Nice birds.
Mark
that-
having to work around.
Is that birdogi? Is that like a cousin of the pierogi?
Yeah, it's a commonly found creature in Pittsburgh. Great 2 from Mark. Yeah, there's nothing worse when you line up a putt thinking you have a birdie, and then you turn it into a 4.
Absolutely.
Not nearly as enjoyable as a pierogi. So a couple cleanups here. I'll clean up my 4, and Cody will clean up a 5. And that'll take us back up the hill to hole 11. It is a 253-foot par 3, throwing down a tunnel and then just a slight left finish. The green is slightly sloping down as you get to it, so you can get some interesting skips if your disc comes in too fast. Mark was playing the bird, trying to get his drop in there. Hannah trying to flex the forehand in there, just catches that tree, gets a kick off to the right. Bailey throwing her flex backhand, and that looks really good.
Nice job, Bailey.
I'm going to go back to that P Model S.
Get a good look at that nice Camber logo.
Gotta show off, when you're on camera for your sponsors. This is a little inside. I thought it was going to sit down, a little closer to the basket, being a putter, but it got some weird ground play once it got down to the green. Here's Cody going for a wider hyzer line, and just a little too high. There's a lot of limbs on this hole if you get up too high.
You're right. You just got to keep it low.
And that's the trick, is trying to drive the disc low under, where there's airspace, but then not throw that line. You have to give it a little extra power, and this green can get quite fast when you're coming in. So how do you, make sure you drive the disc, but then also
Boom!
Gets the control on the green. Big
That's
putt
the
from
Cody
Cody.
I
That's the
know.
bounce back. He's been waiting for that one all round. Mark lining up for his 2. And right in the heart. Mark's really starting to string together a good round here.
Sure is.
Now I'm a little deep left of the pin, so I'm out towards the road, probably about 5 feet from the OB. So it's about a 35-footer coming back, and tell him not overly thrilled with my effort there. Little self-talk. Barely lining up. Shaking her hand. I want a little grip lock there. You get those cold discs, it's hard to kind of figure out exactly how you want to get a good grip. The plastic gets a little slippery when it's cold.
Yeah,
Good
and really, like with these gusts, sometimes you gotta hope for the best.
Baleigh coming back from about 15 feet. And makes the adjustment. She's a regular at the Pittsburgh putting league, so you would expect her to be able to make the putting adjustment and knock that down. I'm going to clean up my 3.
All right, now
I'll move up to hole 12.
yeah, hole 12 is a really, for most people, kind of a forehand shot. It's in the C pin right now, so it plays right on the edge of the road, just beyond that tree, about 10, 15 feet behind that. It looks like that is about probably 15 or 20 feet from Mark Federenko. Cody Winget going back to a forehand. It's a little high, but it's going to settle in there probably about 20 or so, I would guess.
I think he's just...
Baleigh with a more traditional route. It looks like that's... I mean,
Yeah,
excuse
look
me,
at
I'm
roll
sorry,
2.
Camber.
Let's go.
And that's going to be a good shot, too. This hole actually played as the second easiest hole during the tournament. That was Baleigh with a forehand, or with a backhand. 2.86 was the average score in this hole. So there were a lot of birdies out there. What'd you throw here?
Yeah, and we're going to
That zone again?
I threw a little... No, this is a instinct. Last year on coverage, I gave this an ace run, so I tried to do it again. Instead of throwing the nice low line I wanted to, I threw it straight up into the trees. So...
Yeah. Okay, it looks like
Baleigh
Baleigh.
here looking for 2.
And that'll be an easy drop in for her par. Federenko looking to keep his strong play going. And he just misses it. And now he's saying, no, please don't roll. But it doesn't roll too far.
That's a good curl at the end.
Yeah, I don't know if you could tell from this footage, but this is on a pretty decent slope here, so there's a lot of rollaways on this hole. And like I said, it's a hole you really want to get a 2 on, so there's kind of can be a swingy type hole. And he missed that putt.
Berdogey.
Mm.
So I was not happy with my thumber, but it worked out in the end. Got to kind of sit by that tree and knock down my 2. And Cody after his forehand.
Yeah, if you can get your putting going out here, you can really save yourself a lot of, you don't have to be perfect on those drives. Baleigh with a nice finish. Federenko tapping in for his Berdogey.
Yeah, I know this was about the time we were starting to look at scores because our eventual event winner had already posted his. So we knew what the pace was being set at. And if you're looking to score, this is a tough hole to start doing that. Hole 13 at 297, it's a lot of tight windows. We saw Hannah try and go with the flex forehand line that gets you down there. Cody showing the backhand hyzer, beautifully done. I'm of course going to step to my thumber and try and put on a better show than I did on the last hole. A little flat top Firebird and just swing it through that flex forehand gap.
That's a nice shot.
I think it was about 15 feet right of the pin. I was pretty happy with that one. And Baleigh going for that flex forehand, but it just flexed out a little early and then got the biggest kick and roll down the hill. So she's down near the red tee now, which should provide her an easy upshot. And Mark's going to go for that flex forehand line. Mark loves throwing flex forehand, so this is a zone.
His head was a little in the way there. Looked like it was hunting chains there.
We thought he was dunking that one. That was everyone on the tee. The hands start going up. We thought we might have an ace on camera, but it really went right over the top. Hannah with the good upshot, recovering from her early kick. And here's Baleigh with her upshot, just swinging that little hyzer right into the pin.
Well done.
Here's Cody after that big hyzer line. Didn't quite get all the way down the hill, so left him like a 35-footer.
Not today.
You see Mark went a little deep, probably about 25 feet. Like I said, he went right over the basket, but the downside to an ace run is that slightly longer comeback putt.
People, anyone familiar with the area, that's the Vietnam Veterans Pavilion there at Schenley Park, if you're wondering what that structure is.
Hannah looking to clean up. Just a little right. Now, I will say at this point we were dealing with, and you can see it in the occasional snowflake on the screen like they just had, but for where Hannah and I are putting from, it's a fairly consistent and stiff left to right wind. It was blowing up the hill from down there on the road, so it made putting a little interesting. Even these shorter, 20, 25 footers weren't gimmies. So Hannah for about 15, 20 on her comebacker. And just right in the heart. Great comeback. And Cody stepping up to clean up his putt.
He's leaving the bag on his shoulders this time.
And that's Cody's first par in the last 3 holes after going birdie birdie. And this is now we're right in the stretch of Cody starting to do something pretty special here.
So now we come over to 14. A little short, kind of just a little easy backhand down there. It's in the C pin, so you could kind of just see it down there. We had 2 aces on this hole during the tournament. The only hole that was aced, Chad Anderson and Hunter Robbins. Hunter knocked one off a tree into the basket. Didn't look like you had a good shot there, but Federenko
got it bad.
Looked like he.
Mark said right before the throw, he said the flex forehand is the way to access his green, and he played it pretty nice down there.
Yeah. I think it's just a simple hyzer and let it fade out. But if you guys want to do that, that's there's so many ways to throw a disc golf disc, so whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
And Baleigh was down there on the green. Hannah with a backhand kicking a tree, but that might still be a look if you want it. Baleigh looking for her putt. Yeah, it's just a layup, really. Probably the smart play there.
Yeah. Because you can start to see it now, and this is what I was referencing on the last hole. Just you can see the snow moving almost horizontally across the screen. There's pretty solid wind conditions that we were starting to work with here.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like
So
Hannah took the layup too.
I wanted to give this a bid.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to work around that tree, so I was trying to get that little flex line down there and almost rung it up, but not quite.
Now here's Mark for his birdie. Oh, what a putt in these conditions. Wow.
Yeah, great bounce back.
There you go, Cody. How it made him look for a minute though. Yeah.
Cody's now 3 down through the last 4 holes.
So it's that wind.
I was one of those putts where lining it up. I knew that my release is on a little bit of hyzer, and my brain was saying, like, you need to putt this flat or it's going to move left. And then the other part of my brain was going, no, you're close enough. It's not going to affect the disc. And then it affected the disc. So
Sounds like my friend Vince would say, too many mind.
Meanwhile, everybody else is putting
up.
effectively to clean up. So hole 15, we're going up the hill now, 254 feet. The basket's just behind the larger tree on the sort of the right side of that field goal. So you can see Mark started us off here with a little flex forehand, but he just overturns it a bit, catches that the left side of the field goal, I'll call it. Cody going to the backhand. And he hit that tree branch, and it could not have been a better redirect. Hannah going to her forehand and looking to flex one up there, and falling victim to the same tree as Mark on the same shot line there. And that's the tough part with that flex forehand, just beating that last tree. Baleigh going flex backhand and just started to overturn, but a nice little tree kick back to the fairway. And I'm going to go thumber. I was pretty unhappy after the last hole, so I looked at everybody and said, I'm going to try and skip this in.
That
Pretty close.
Probably a good tree hit. That just was moving. But so here's Mark for about 40 feet, and he's got that big tree right in the way. This is going to be a tough putt.
It's a
But
good
valiant
bump.
effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, really got it out there to the right and let the wind kind of swing it back on the basket. Hannah looking to do the same, and almost rings it up from distance. Baleigh from about the same, about 35, up the hill. And again, that's like you said on one of the previous holes, the camera doesn't quite do the elevation here justice. This is a pretty uphill putt.
Yeah, you made me think there. You want that either to hit the chains and go in or miss. You don't want to be banging off that cage because you might be rolling right back down that hill.
Yeah, some of those putts you've already seen today where people are touching the edge of the cage and rolling. That can be a death sentence on this hole.
What happens now?
Especially if you're coming back to 10. And a couple cleanups.
So now we're moving over to the 16th hole. We're down the home stretch here. Cody has the box. And this is in the B pan. It's about 133 feet. Kind of really straight down the hill. There's a couple lines to take. There's a backhand line kind of straight through, and there's also a really nice forehand out to the left of that tree, the big tree that you see right there. Looks like you guys both opted for that backhand line. Was that a little dance move there? Or
It was. I was just me admiring my bad shot.
It didn't look too bad.
I just took a big kick.
Federenko with the forehand line. Over the years, the trees have a couple of trees have come down there, and it's really opened up that line. in my opinion. Baleigh going with the backhand, clipping an early tree. And now Hannah with her forehand. There's no doubt what she's going to do here.
I threw the drive to him.
And this was
Come on.
hunting.
Settle.
Getting a little
But it is,
vibe from Mark
it is
there.
such a cool hole that just the fact that there are so many ways to attack it, even though it's very wooded and down the hill.
Yeah, and if you get early trouble up here, it can really turn what might seem like an easy hole into a difficult par save.
Yeah, these are not easy upshots when you're trying to play down the hill and then get the disc to come to a stop on a sloped green.
So it looked like you did some good work there. Now Baleigh
Yeah, I played it to come up a little short.
trying to do the same, and oh, that's a favorable ground play.
Beautifully executed.
Cody looking for his birdie.
Yeah, he's a little deep.
Oh, faked out the camera there. And he hits it. Wow.
Yeah, Cody's heating up now. He's now 5 down through the last 6 holes.
A little too late, but you know, it makes you feel better at the end of the day to string together a good finish. And Mark, that hurts after he's trying to, you know, maybe get in there with the top scores. Now coming off,
Poor Hannah.
yeah, her great drive that apparently almost aced there, but now standing on some ice, right?
Going from an ace run to having to stand on a sheet of ice while you putt.
An ace run to an ice run. And tough.
And just a little short.
Hard to get that power when you're trying not to slip. And clean that up. Everybody's cleaning up.
All right, we have 2 holes left to go. So here we're on 17. This is a 232-foot dog leg left. You're going to go up around those big trees. You see Cody throwing the big hyzer and try and swing out to the left. You're going to see a lot of overstable fairways. Your felons, your firebirds, your anything you got in that sort of 9-speed overstable. I'm going to a firebird here. And I early released this pretty badly.
Early, what's out there?
Here's Mark. I want to say that's a raptor, but don't quote me on that.
Ching.
It's like a good shot.
Go up there.
You were playing knob, and he threw this disc, and like.
And Hannah's going for that low flex line, but just a little low, catches that hill. Again, this is a pretty severe uphill slope. Baleigh ripping the flex backhand and getting the corner, so that should set her up for a nice approach.
Nice shot.
Hannah's gonna have a little flex forehand here. And that put her in the circle, only about 15 feet from the basket, in the rough just the right of it. Baleigh with the long look for a birdie.
Dunk it. Come on.
And just about rings it up.
So I don't know if you could see here, but this is in the C pin. This is a new structure that Jay Gary Drop Show came out and built this past year, and really wanted to take a moment to thank him and his company Grip It and Rip It Disc Golf, our presenting sponsor for the Ice Bowl.
Yeah, it's a beautiful addition. It's little stuff like that that really, take a disc golf course to the next level. Just going from having the basket on a slope to having a nice, built-up green. The aesthetics of it are wonderful. It's my first time actually back at Schenley since that wall's been built, so that was cool for me to get to see it for the first time.
Yeah, dealing with a little erosion problems too. So, it looks like That was a tough miss there.
Not a practice throw.
Yeah, we were having a good lap.
Like, Cody's like, I've been there before today. I know how you feel.
Yeah, one of the nice things with this not being a sanctioned and rated round, we were, we were able to laugh off some of the harder moments for everybody and kind of keep the mood pretty light. This is a great putt from Cody, right in the heart.
It's really just a
Mark
fun
cleans
event.
up.
Fun event for the.
It is. You know, it's a fun time. Like for me, this is a really good opportunity. I know I like to use this ice bowl now to sort of, usually in the winter, I'm working a lot of new discs into my bag. So opportunity to kind of bring some of those out into a competitive setting and see how it goes. Anna's just finding that front cage again.
Yeah, this is another hole that likes to roll away.
Yeah. But that's a manageable comeback. It's longer, obviously, than she wants. My putt out of the woods went into those bushes, and I'm kind of underneath them. And when you're 6'6", being underneath the anything is not where you want to be. So I have to putt from a knee here. Sort of an you see, I'm trying to get my foot in an awkward straddle position.
No sweat.
I'll clean it up for 3. And Hannah looking to come back after that little roll.
Oh.
And about as much metal as you can hit without getting the stick. And luckily that one sat down. The way that came off the cage on this green, that could have been a disastrous outcome, but sits down close, easy tapping.
That slip could have been a disastrous outcome too.
Yeah, there were a couple spots. We had a few interesting falls over on the green for hole 5 earlier in the round.
So here's Cody stepping up to our final hole. 18 looks like a terrific drive. Seems to me like the snow's picking up here a little bit more even.
Yeah, we definitely had a bit of a wind. So I was giving my little my shameless plug for my new Camber Pennsylvania stamped discs, which you can get at camberdiscgolf.com. This is a DX rock. I decided to disc up a little bit. Cody Campbell touched short with the putter, so I went around. Tried to give the mid-range a little ace run and
great shot.
Navigate a couple pine trees at the end there to get to about 15 feet.
Here's Federenko. Like pushing out to the right a little bit. There's usually always a headwind kind of making things move right there for everyone.
Yeah, I'm not sure which disc he threw there, but yeah, you do get that headwind coming up that tunnel.
It's like Bailey's working through it. Oh, some great ground play there.
Yeah,
great shot.
Those pine needles can be fun to finish your shot on. Some skip opportunities.
Oh no! Off of the pole.
Way out to the left.
Which has been hit many times. And then it's kind of a fun shot. Great up shot underneath the trees. In the summer, that might be a little more difficult. But,
gotta love winter lines.
Yeah. Good for the birdie attempt here. And it wasn't there. You know, Mark played a great round, but I have to think he had to be a little upset of what could have been if he had done a few things here and there.
Yeah, I know there were a couple putts he wish he had had back a couple holes. Yeah, he came out scorching at the beginning of the round. But overall, like you said, a very good -6. That's going to put him right in the thick of things.
Hannah with a
Hannah
tough,
looking to save the 3.
and take his 3
I was anger putting.
at home. And then Bailey, after her excellent drive, looking to finish on a high note. And she does.
Look great too. That's exactly how you want to finish your round up. Walk off on a birdie.
Absolutely.
Canada clean it up. And a great putt. Need to clean up my two.
Nice finish.
And Cody was teasing me because I went mid-range and he went putter, but I wanted to give it an ace run.
You could tease him about his score.
Well, he fought it all the way back to 1 under. He went 7 down through his last 8 holes. So after a really rough start for Cody, a really great way to finish. It was a really fun card to be a part of because I think with the weather and everything, everybody rode the roller coaster a little bit. We all had our, a couple holes where we were up and a couple holes where we were down, but the overall mood was just really pleasant, really fun to be around. And it ended up being just a fun day of disc golf with a couple really great rounds being shot.
Yeah, it was fun to watch your round, and I really appreciate you all, Camber Disc, coming out, doing the recording, Lawson and everyone, and everyone really who participated in the Ice Bowl. Like I said, we raised almost $7,000 for the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. So we're going to feed a lot of people in the community. So good job, everyone, and take care.
And make sure to head over and check out camberdiscgolf.com, today's sponsor for this coverage. Thank you, Mark, for putting on this event. It's just a wonderful event that's been, become a staple of, it's always been a staple of Pittsburgh winter, but now especially in this flex format, it's really grown literally and figuratively. And the best part about that is, like you said, the amount of money that's being raised now every year to help the Pittsburgh Food Bank and feeding people in need. So thank you for those of you that are joining us, joined us for this coverage. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't get to play this year's Ice Bowl, keep an eye out next January for signups to start up again. So thank you, everyone, and we'll see you soon.